We will feel that we've had a successful evening if at the end of the night you go home feeling that you have been gently entertained, thoughtfully provoked, and that you can take on the challenge of life, say yes to the power of yes, and go out into the world and be amazing. I'm Rashmi Biswas, and I've written my first book, Rash Decisions, Accept Where You Are and Then Be Amazing. To say, first of all, I am going to thank my parents for having the foresight 44 years ago to give me such a brilliant first name that would later on become this excellent book title. What a challenge that has been at different times in my life. But the funniest interpretation of my name ever has to be at a party I was at in California. And I didn't know the host, and I was being introduced to the host, and he said, "Oh, Rashmi, hippie parents." And then we put them in a freezer bag. Now, we do planning and goal setting as a business. I would not recommend this as a business activity. This is definitely a personal activity. This is, I'm going to run a marathon, I'm going to learn Spanish, I'm going to renovate the bathroom, I'm going to write a book. So the reason that we put them in the freezer is because you're probably in the freezer every other day, and you sort of always see them then sort of glimpsing and glittering at you in all their bright glory as they're sitting between the vodka and the ice cream, and that's what's in my freezer. And anyway, so we actually had, on the post-it note for that year, I had said, I'm going to write a book. This is the year, going to do it. Stop talking about it, because the Tragically Hip song that, nobody's interested in something that you didn't do. So if you're going to do it, then get on and do it. And in writing it in this vein of the entrepreneur set against the backdrop of starting the new business, all the personal stories came through. And it was sort of unexpected, but I embraced it, and I realized that in order to write my story about moving forward and embracing current state and future state, I had to have a conversation with my old self. And I talk about it in the book as making peace with your past. Very honest account. Practically everybody in Ontario knows how much I weigh now, which is really interesting. I sort of slightly hesitate about the wisdom of including that, but anyway. That actually become quite dysfunctional because you create this reality of who you are. So let me just kind of back up and give you an example. My first career was in academia, and I was a decent academic. I was okay. I was decent on my feet, and I was really well organized. Interesting part was that those weren't skills that were terribly well valued at that time. So I was kind of in the wrong fit. So my idea then, 15, 20 years later, to do a PhD was really an odd idea, that I'd sort of been through those scholastic corridors and found that that was not the right fit for me. So then why was I going to go back and try and do that all again? So it was the idea that you can break out of the myths, and just because you took a particular course at 18, 19, or followed a particular path, that doesn't set your path for the rest of your life. You too now, so you've got the idea that you can only be amazing at 18, and you only get to write your memoir when you're an octogenarian. So that's the idea, that at any point you can really make a choice, take a breath, look at where you are, make peace with all that's gone on before you, and sort of, some people talk about taking a cold, hard look, and I say take a warm, forgiving look at your former self. Just, it's all right. So this is my theory on how you venture into the world and be amazing. There's a lot of whimsical literature, if you like, that says you should live every day as if it was your last day. And I think that's absolute rubbish, by the way. I think that if you were to live every day as if it was your last day, I probably would have had about 4 litres of chocolate ice cream for breakfast. Probably the same for lunch. Probably would have spent all afternoon emptying my bank account and buying things I didn't need or could afford. Probably would have drunk champagne all day, would have wasted the day. So my view is that rather than living every day as if it's your last, quite the contrary, you should live every day as if it's your first. Think about the newness and the curiosity and the excitement that you bring to the first of whatever it might be. So think about a first day on a new job. Think about how eager you are to learn and to grow and to meet everyone and to build meaningful relationships with people. Think about a first date. Think about the excitement that you had with a first date. Anything that is new and fresh, we kind of put a little extra effort into it, and I'm a serial job hire. I've had lots of different jobs and had lots of different first days in an organization. I know what it feels like. But when you take that keenness and that eagerness and that curiosity with you, then you put effort into your work, into your family, into your relationships, into your community, because you expect to be around for a while. You expect to put depth into things. And because it's the first day, you're not worrying about what happened before. There's no baggage, there's no regret. Let your past go. Decide to have a plan and then implement that plan. And then why not live every day as if it's your first and go out into the world and be absolutely and utterly amazing.